So the initial inspection now, basically on the S4 that we've just got in for this week. Now we quoted on this, I think it's 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was in really good condition. It's a new car, but knowing it's black, we knew it was going to be hard work, and we know that it does need sort of machine work, and there is going to be scratches and swirls appear on them very quickly. Unfortunately, what we've noticed on initial inspection, I've actually seen more now it's drying. There's a birdlime stain here, there's a birdlime etching there. I'm not really too concerned with those, we can get those out. The biggest thing I've noticed is, I'll try and get you on the camera, basically from here all the way down to here is basically a hairline scratch, like a razor blade scratch, and it is like a razor blade has done it, it's that deep. Now this side's clearly been sort of caught on brambles or bushes, that's the only thing I can explain. And to be fair, this side looks like a 10-year-old car at the minute, which it didn't when it came in. Again, I'm not majorly concerned with these markings. This really deep long one is a bit of a concern. I'm not sure if we're going to have to wet sand it. The mirror caps have really took a hit, but again, we can get those out. The top of this door is horrendous, to be fair, but again, I'm not too concerned apart from the big scratch that's here. And the other area that I'm going to show you on camera in a minute is basically the bumper. Now this lady does have dogs, and it does look like they've caught this quite bad. So I might speak to her about maybe, you know, I'm not a big fan of PPF, but we have just put a little bit on a Porsche for a guy on the sills, and in some areas it's useful, and it might be worth maybe doing a PPF trim at the bottom just for where the dogs get in, because the nails have clearly caught it. So I'll just try and get those bits on camera just for the initial inspection, and then we're going to crack on today, get some bits of work done on here, get some kind of before and afters, and just see how the paint actually starts to work. So after a little bit more of an inspection on the car, we spoke with the client very briefly, and she said she's not gone through any brambles or bushes or anything that could have caused the marks on here. They're the only reason we kind of associate with it, because generally these marks are so consistent, and basically the way they actually go across the car is normally what it is. But now we start looking at it more, we've got some really deep scars here as well, which I've just shown you on the camera. And the other thing is that you saw on the camera a second ago, the bottom of the sill is all red, and there's a massive overspray here and a ginormous amount of overspray here. Now, looking at the paint, it looks pretty factory. There's a bit of orange peel around the door here, but again, you know, like it happens nowadays. I have got a sneaky suspicion, the more I look at it, that this wing's been painted, and it's got like a few little marks in it, so I'm wondering if it's had a bit of not a knock, but something's caught this, which has caught this, and they've painted the wing, and then it's obviously blown back. So that's a possibility, I'm not sure. There's nothing kind of out of the ordinary, it doesn't look damaged in any way, it doesn't look bent. It happens to cars. Our RS5, I bought that, didn't see it, and the whole side had some work on it. So it is one of those things that happens. So I'm going to have a go at this now. We're going to try and get these marks out. This scratch is really bad, like I said, and we may have to contact the customer and maybe do some wet sanding on it if she wants to get it fully out. I don't know if there's going to be another option. That's kind of in my fear, that that's the only way we're going to get it. Same with these marks here, but we're going to spend a couple of hours on it, and then we'll try and get some more footage once we've had a go, just to see how it works, basically, what comes out, how the paint reacts, and what it lets us do with it. So we've managed to get majority of the marks out of the panels now. The passenger side really was bad, in all fairness. Some of the marks are pretty much through the paint to the metal because the mark's so deep you can actually see like a scour in it. We've managed to blend them. I've heated them up the way we've done on a few of the videos in the past, so I've actually blended the paint and I've kind of burnt it to make the lacquer soft so it blends a little bit. Wet sanding's a possibility to do a little bit more, but I've recommended to the customer we don't really do that. Obviously these marks weren't in when we quoted on it, so we didn't expect to be doing that sort of work. So I've had to speak with the client and let her know that there is deeper marks in there, but the reality is this side now looks absolutely mint. That side, I'm about 95% where I want to be. I'm going to do a little bit more, but you can't see the kind of 3 or 4 marks that are left in it, which is obviously very little amount compared to what was there. We've basically coated the wheels now. They've been ceramic coated inside and out. They've actually had 2 coatings on them because they're quite a rough wheels from the factory. They're a bit of a matte finish, so they're not smooth, so we've basically put a couple of different products on there. The calipers have been done, so they're all actually smooth. The wheels are going to go back on now, and that means I can then drop the car down and focus on the top pillars, which I need to do. And then tomorrow we're going to be working on things like the bonnet and basically the sills and a few other areas basically on the top. But as a rule, do you know what, I think the car looks absolutely mint now. You can see the reflection in there. There's no real marks to be concerned about. I'm going to be finishing the boot today, so we'll try and get a few more bits on the camera tomorrow. We need to do things like the pillars still, but we can't do that till the car's dropped down. But we'll try and get some more footage tomorrow and actually some clips of the car being done. But so far, do you know what, it's pretty mint. We've got it where we need to be and we're on time with everything. So an update on the Audi progress so far. Basically what we've done is a paint enhancement on this. If you go on our website, it tells you the difference between like a revival, an enhancement and a correction, and we're very, very specific about the differences in it. A lot of people do use the word paint correction all the time. The reality is that, well, we've said it before, they're like a 10 to 15 day job to do something as high end as that. So what this has done is basically an enhancement. Now, majority of the areas have been corrected. That's part of an enhancement. So there's panels that are absolutely flawless. There's panels that aren't. And this side, as we saw, was horrendous. It really was bad. It's been marked quite aggressively, and some of the marks are pretty much through the paint. So the idea on this job is to get them so they're not visible. And basically to get the most out of them without taking the paint down. And then what we're going to do is build it up now with the ceramic. We're literally on with the 9H Ceramic Pro at the minute. This is going to toughen up the finish, enhance the colour, darken it a bit more so it gives it a bit more pop. And it is a filler as well because it flattens the layers, so it is actually going to fill these scratches in that are still kind of slightly visible the more we apply it. Now this job's going to have to have 4 to 6 layers of hardener. To be honest, I can't do for anything less because it clearly is, it's soft. So we're on with that now. We're going to be putting the bait lamps on. This is only going to be a short video blog, in all fairness to this car, because of the hours we've had on it. We've not really had time to get the camera out and kind of show you what's working. It just takes too long. So there is going to be bits of clips and things on it, but we'll get the typical sort of montage at the end just to show you what's been done. Wheels have been off, the calipers have been done, the wheels have been done. That's already part of the job now. So it's just on with me now, literally getting the hardener on, kind of getting the finishing layers on, and then we can bake it, leave it a day, put the top coat on, do the glass and do this kind of refinement side of things. So as I said, we're on with the 9H now. I'll try and get a quick video of us doing a little bit of work on that.
I'm a straight rider, you can't deny it. No, you wanna fuck with me. No, you wanna fuck with me. Fuck with the bosses, fuck with bad bitches. Only thing that's on my team. Yeah. No, you wanna fuck with me. Yeah. No, you wanna fuck with me. Yeah. No, you wanna fuck with me.
So quite a tedious part now. We basically just removing the number plate because this is the only way that we can actually buff this correctly, and obviously when we can take the plates off if they're not covered in hundreds of sticky pads, which takes hours to get rid of. we will remove them. The only problem is there is a little bit of glue behind all these, as you can just see here, so we're just going to get that off now, and then we can get the small pads into these areas and actually buff them properly, which means we'll get all the marks from the boot that you can see there, and obviously be able to cut this correctly as well before we put the boot back down and put the plate back on. So we're into Friday. We're literally going to be putting the top coat on the car now. We're going to be putting the glass or rain product from Ceramic Pro. I'm going to have a little bit of go kind of with some of the trims, just little tiny bits now that need touching up. To be fair, we're probably going to have this done in, I'd say 3, maybe 4 hours now, and then it is literally just baking time. As you can see, I've got the lamps on at the minute, just getting the panels to a good temperature because it's still quite cold at this time of year. This means I can then put the product on, and I know it's going to bond properly, because even if the panel isn't warm, it's not going to bond. It's not just about baking it, you need to have a decent base for it to go on. So that panel's been baking for about 20 minutes. I'm kind of ready to do the rest of the coats now. As I say, we'll about 3 or 4 hours I reckon we'll have this done. We'll get a bit of a montage set up for you, get the video finished, and you can see exactly as we've got this car, basically from what it was to what it is now.